Hey everybody, quick setup for this morning. Go ahead and bring your black cables off the back handlebars. Have a red pole handy just for balance if you need it. And then I also have the bungee hung up around the little handlebars up here just so we can easily grab it as we transition. Jessica here demoing today, as always. Quick modifications, smaller range of motion, definitely gonna make things a little easier, a little less intense. Anything at the back can be done at the front. On the flip side, if you're at the front and you just feel like you need more, you can take it right on up to the back. Anytime we're at the front, 2 yellows is more support. We're gonna start with our opening core block this morning. We're gonna take it up to the back and start with super crunch. So sitting on the back platform, make sure you got 1 yellow spring, 2 yellows is going to, so sitting on the back platform, darling, facing forward. It's Monday, it's cold, it's early, it's fine. Don't worry, we'll go there later though. Toes underneath the strap. Set it up nice and tall. So sit up out of your hips, spread the shoulder blades on your back, lengthen your neck, squeeze your butt, squeeze your core in, lengthen the tailbone forward, and then start your movement here. Big inhale, you start to lean back, beautiful Jess. Legs are extending away. You can adjust your range of motion here to make it harder, to make it easier, not a big deal. As you exhale, draw the knees in towards you. Sitting up, so kind of create opposition, sitting up out of your hips as the chest rises. Nice and slow. We'll take about 20 more seconds here, and then we're gonna hit a challenge. We'll keep moving through the core. Sequence today will be our standard kind of core, leg, oblique, leg, arms, final core. Next one, let's start to lean it back. Take your time, settle back, lean back as far as you can. Get your legs out pretty straight. And that last little inch of straightness, drop the tailbone forward, pull your navel into your spine, that lazy inch right below the belly button. Maybe the arms lift, maybe not. Start to bend your knees only. Knees are squeezing in towards each other. They're pulling towards your rib cage. Squeeze your butt a little bit to help relax the hip flexors, the front of the thighs. We've just got 10 more seconds here. We're gonna grab the carriage. Your toes will be where your butt is. Hands will be on the 8 and the 10. It's a high plank. 3, 2, 1. Great job. So hands on the carriage, nice transition. Toes tuck, your feet could be together, your feet could be hips distance. You could be on your knees. Modified plank, that's fine. You could also take it up to the front if you needed to. Let's just set our plank. Hardest part here with our hands on the carriage. Try to let the carriage slide a little bit more forward, exactly, so that your hands line up right underneath your shoulders. And when you do that, the arms are gonna fire more, and those upper abs are gonna start to fire a little bit more as well. Take a big inhale breath for me, begin to push into your hands. With your long spine, start to pike your hips up, 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 slow, 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 slow. Yes, up towards the sky, squeeze it tight. And then lift the shoulders as you start to come back down out towards your plank. Nice and slow, super strong breathing here. Lats are engaged all the way through, heels lifted so high, nice straight legs, Jess. Just about 10 more seconds. We're gonna take it down to a modified plank from here. So you'll be on your elbows, you'll be on your knees, smooth transition as quickly as you can, setting that next position in 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Knees come down together side by side. Elbows, remember the further out you slide your elbows, the harder it's going to be. So kind of pick your poison here. Set the shoulders again. Get your elbows to line up right underneath the shoulder girdle. Squeeze your butt, lengthen your neck, release the tension from your jaw, and let this thing burn. Slowly as you can, begin to saw your elbows forward, creating that body saw. Keep the rib cage lifting up as the elbows slide forward. Super important, I want you to continue working the shoulders as you move here. So keep the shoulders depressed, away from the ears towards the hips, long through the spine, sides of the waist are hugging in. Big old inhales and exhales. I want you to know you only have 12 seconds, so see if you can push it a little bit. 10 seconds, we're gonna take it right into our kneeling crunch. In 5. So you're gonna stack the shoulders over the elbows. 3, 2, stack it up, take a breath, set the core, and as you exhale, lift, lift, lift through the hips. Awesome, Jessica. Resisting as you slide forward. I think the way forward is a little bit harder to maintain that scooping out of your lower belly. And again, don't pull with your knees. Lift with hips. Feel your spine kind of coil up. Tuck your lower abs a little bit more. Don't be afraid to hold it at the top, right? Like every time you come in, hold it there. Make sure you're checking your shoulders, you're checking your neck, you're squeezing those abs. We've got about 20 more seconds here. We'll hit a little challenge and then I'm gonna get you up to the front of the machine. So we'll then have the support of the springs. As we make our way up, you could add on that second yellow. 10 more seconds here. We're gonna add in a little bit of a burner coming up. Next one, I want you to slide it out to your biggest hold. And then now only pull up about 3 inches. So lift the hips, tuck the tail, round the spine about 3 inches up. So lift a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. Yes, right there. And now give me a little lift up, squeeze the core. Yes, perfect, Jessica. A little resist down. You got 12 seconds here, you guys. Light those abs on fire. Open up the breathing. You need fresh oxygenated blood. You have 5. We slide it up to the front. It's wheelbarrow. 3, 2, and 1. So take it a little right on up to the front. Maybe pop on a second yellow, still facing forward. We'll have our hands on the front platform, knees together side by side, and then we start to slide backwards from the shoulders. So it's just like that body saw we did at the back, except now you're up on your hands. If your wrists are bugging, you could definitely make your way back down to your elbows. Lift through the back of the head a little bit. Awesome adjustment, Jess. Squeeze your glutes a lot. Intensify what you're doing with your inner thighs. I like to actively push my shins down into the platform back there. Start to slide it out on your next one. Hold it out there once you're at your like edge. Depress the shoulders a little bit. Suck the belly button up to the spine. And now as slow as you can, some little movements here. A little bit back and a little bit forward. Like a pulse, but it's really, really slow. And you guys, it's probably really, really small. It doesn't need to be a couple inches. Hold the fight. Like a little flex. 8, 7, lift the head again. Soften through the elbows. Good adjustments. 4, 3, let's go big, full range in 2. And 1, so full range of motion, all the way out, all the way back in. Awesome. Now, 10 seconds, we're gonna come into a plank. You could do this on your elbows, it'll be harder. You could do this up on your hands, maybe a little bit harder for the wrists. It's up to you, pick your poison. Elbows and toes harder than hands and toes. In 3, 2, and 1, plank hold. Most days if my shoulders are bugging, I'll come up to my hands, definitely harder on the shoulder girdle, down on the forearms, and you'll feel it's a lot more intense on the core as well. I want you to think about 3 inches of movement from side to side. See if you can pick one foot up, just an inch or so. And then when you pick that foot up, tap your toes out to the coordinating side of the carriage, exactly. Bring it back to center, and then set it down. And then go ahead and switch sides. So we're like side taps, right? You're working your obliques, you're stabilizing your hips, you gotta work your shoulders a lot, drawing the navel up energetically, the sides of the waist squeeze in. Beautiful control, Jessica. Lift the back of the head just a little bit. And remember, if this isn't for you, you're just holding that plank. We got about 10 more seconds here. We're gonna pick it up and come into catfish. So hands move up to the higher set of bars. Last 4. Awesome control, Jess. 3, 2, and 1. So go ahead and bring your hands on up to the high bars. Last one here for the center core. We'll move on to the legs from here. So toes back on the number 3. If you want to scoot your feet a little bit further forward, it's going to make it a little easier, a little bit more supported by the springs. Back is in that perfect tabletop position. Legs slide back only as far as you can maintain that tabletop, that hip to shoulder height. As you bend your knees, try not to pull with your thighs. Try to draw the navel up and intensify what you're feeling in those lower abs. Next one, start to slide it out. Again, don't let the hips drop, but slide it out as far as you can hold. And give me a little squeeze in, a little squeeze out. Soften through your elbows. Hug those outer upper arms in. Hug your outer hips in. Squeeze your inner thighs. Lift your heels higher. Feel those calves slide up. 4, 3, long in the neck, strong in the shoulders. 2, go back to full range. Just a few more seconds here. We're gonna challenge the full body to finish this thing off. And then we got a spring change coming as we make our way into the heavier set of leg work. 5 seconds, the legs are gonna start to slide all the way back in 3. Straighten your legs out behind you, 2. Straighten your legs out, strong core. Push your toes back as you lower your hips down into like a flying plank position. Lift your head, squeeze your butt so strong, squeeze your core, slowly push-ups. Elbows come off about 45 degrees. I want you to try to go really, really slow. I'm not gonna hold you here long. Let it shake. Also breathe deeper, you guys. Your heart rate's spiking now with this full body effort. Just 10, about 1 red, 2 to 3 yellows. You're gonna face towards your right with your left foot on the front platform for squats. Just 6, 5, I'm gonna change Jessica's. You do a quick transition, stepping left to reach back for the springs. 3, 2, 1. So about 1 red and 2 yellows. Face to your right, left foot on the platform, your feet are inside the straps. Do a quick alignment check, make sure your feet are lined up and most likely your toes are turned slightly out. Push the carriage out a little bit so you feel the tension on the cables. And we're gonna go for depth. Nice and slow, start to bend your knees, sit all the way down into your deepest squat. Hips go down and back, chest stays lifted. Awesome, Jessica. As you come down to the bottom, I've got a little trick for you, and it's pretty intense. When you're coming down to the bottom, I want you to push through all 4 corners of your feet. And as you're starting to rise up, imagine you're spiraling your heels. So I want you to feel your knees push away from each other as you rise up. It's subtle, it's slight. It's not gonna be like a big movement in your knees, but I want you to feel the work. Let's start to come all the way down to the bottom on your next one. We're gonna sit into it. Perfect form, Jess. Rib cage tips back into your spine. Shoulder blades move down the back towards your hips. Heels are digging down and you still have that kind of spiraling action. I'm gonna hold you here a little longer. I want it to start to burn. I want you to feel that fire in your thighs where you feel like you just cannot. And you're going to anyways, right? Use the bars if you need to. Let's see if we can sink in a little bit lower, still feeling that deep core engagement. Now real strong, real slow. Give me a little 1 inch up. Hold it. Come 1 more inch up. That's the hard part. That's the hardest for me. 1 inch down. Nice. 1 more inch down. Hold it nice and strong. And then slowly as you can, let's start to rise up. Real slow, inching towards the top. Great tempo, Jess. Collarbones open, you guys. Abs are engaged. Even at the top, you sink it all the way back down, deep as you can get. Great control. So on the way up, let's make it take about 7, 8 seconds. On the way down, just 4 or 5 seconds. So on the way down, don't go fast, but do make it a little bit quicker so you spend more time in the depth. And then as you rise, it's a creep. You're starting to shake. You gotta breathe a little deeper. Just about 6 seconds, we'll come into another hold. Start to make your way all the way down, all the way down. Awesome, hold it down. Drop the tail a little bit, squeeze the core real tight, push into your heels, kind of spiral them out. Little squeeze into those glutes and then come 1 inch up. 1 more inch up, stop. 1 inch down. 1 more inch down. Let's do it one more time. We're almost there. 1 inch up, so strong, Jess. 1 inch up, 1 inch down. Last time, 1 more inch down. Take your biggest, fullest breath and as slow as you can, begin to rise. You've only got 15 more seconds here. We warmed up our squat for a reason. We're gonna be stepping to your left, continuing this push set. We're gonna come into side kicks. It's truly one of my favorites. In 4, your left foot moves to the floor, just to the left of that platform. In 3, 2, 1. Good fight, Jessica. Left foot down on the floor. If that sheet's in your way, you can just push it out. Right foot to the front edge. So another thing, do that quick alignment check. With your left foot on the floor as far forward as it can be, your right foot should be pretty much lined up with that, even though it's on the front edge of the carriage. So they're on the same plane. Drop your hips really low. How they teach this when we're like doing instructor training, they literally want your hips hovering an inch off that platform. So in order to target the booty, you gotta drop your hips low and keep your chest high. I see a lot of people kind of drop their butt back and lean way forward. That's not what you want here. Get down low, and yeah, you can lean forward, but you gotta bend the knees first. On your next one, I want you to push your right leg out to the right. Hold it. About 90% of the way out. So your right leg's pretty straight. And then what I want you to do is push down so heavy into your left heel, like you're trying to stomp a bug or you're trying to break through the concrete. And now squeeze your right booty just the same. Right leg 1 inch out, 1 inch in. Try to feel your obliques working here and then squeeze your shoulder blades down a little bit. 1 inch out, good. 1 inch in, push it 1 inch out, perfect in the spine, Jess. Let's sit a little lower. And now come back to full range. Really slow, really strong, no problem. 15 seconds. Again, shoulder blades down the back, lats engaged, rib cage lifting, neck so long. Relax that tension that likes to build up in the jaw. Push your right leg out again, about 80%. Hold it nice and strong, push it there. Again, push your left heel down, intensify that sensation. From here, right leg again, 1 inch out. You've totally got this. Bring it 1 inch in. Go 1 inch out, do it slower. Re-push down into that left heel, good fight, Jessica. 1 inch in, slower you guys. Push it 1 inch out, yes. Last time, 1 inch in, 1 inch out. Take a breath, reconnect through that left heel, drop your hips lower. Let's push it back to full range. You only have about 15 seconds here. Change is coming. We're gonna grab our bungee, and you'll see Jessica's got that bungee on the bar literally right in front of her chest, so she can easily transition. Your left knee, or rather your right knee, is going to be near the first red line. Left foot will have the bungee. 3, 2, 1. Good job. So grab your bungee, strap your left foot. Your right knee crawls out onto the carriage. However, if you need to modify, scoot back a little bit. I want you to start with your left leg straight. So left leg all the way straight, toes pointed. Squeeze your core, drop your left hip a little bit, perfect adjustment. Keep a softness in your right or your left knee, but push up against that, oh yeah. Push up against the bungee, you guys, so you feel it. It's not slack back there. And again, that softness in the knee is gonna help protect the knee and target the hamstring. Radiating from your core, I promise you this needs to be tiny. Give me a lift up, a resist down. You guys, it's like a 1/4 inch of movement. A little squeeze up, it's intense. Little squeeze down. I like how Jessica brought her right palm up. So she has her left elbow and her right hand underneath her right shoulder for more stability. Good. Next one, push it all the way up. I know. Yes, Jessica, it shakes. Slowly, hamstring curl. Go slow. We're not going to be here long. I want you to imagine you're scraping your toes on the ceiling. Keep that thigh bone lifted so high. Yes. Curl it right back in. Good. Curl, curl, curl. Yes, yes, yes. Give me one more just like that. Slowly extending out. Awesome. And now curl the heel in towards the booty. Stop at that 90-degree bend like bungee. Flex the toes now. And then same thing, like a 1/4 inch of movement. Little squeeze up. Yup. Little squeeze down. Little squeeze up. Little squeeze down. 10. 9, push it up. Kick your own butt right now. Push it up there as high as you can for 5. 4, runner's lunge. 3, 2, 1. Good job. Shake it off. Turn around, face towards the front. Left foot front platform, right toes back against that strap. Deep bend in your left knee. Right leg is driving. I love, one of my favorite combos is bungee before runner's lunge. How do you feel about it, Jessica? It's good stuff. So make sure your left knee is lunging right over the ankle. It's gonna wanna shift back. My favorite cue in this one is as much as you're pushing your right leg back with those heavy springs, you're anchoring through your front heel, your front leg. Left heel is drilling down, you're lunging into it. See if you can sink in a little bit lower. You can use your red pole as Jessica is, or you can bring your hands down onto the black handlebars. I do like the black handlebars myself because I lean a little bit forward in this exercise in order to keep the core work a little bit tighter. Let's start to push the right leg back about 90% on your next one. Bend into your left knee a little bit more deeply. Sit a little lower and reconnect into that left heel. Now slow as you can, right leg about a 1/2 inch to 1 inch in. Squeeze your butt cheek to do it. Right leg 1/2 inch to 1 inch back. Your tailbone is reaching to the floor so you feel that right hip flexor stretching. 1 inch back, 1 inch in, just 5. 4, keep moving, 3, 2, and slowly as you can, take it back to full range of motion. In and out, shoulders melting down the back. We have one more left leg exercise after this, and then we'll move it right along. Big old inhales, big old exhales. We've got 10 seconds left. Squeeze your inner thighs, and again, drop down a little bit lower, melt those shoulders down the back. This time, go ahead and bring your right knee in, so it's right underneath the right hip. Lift your right heel a little higher and do the work right now to squeeze your right butt. Don't let that quad take over. Squeeze your left butt energetically. Try to get a little bit lower. See if you can bring it parallel to the floor. We're just holding right now. Just holding, breathing. Big old inhales, big old exhales. You've got about 5 seconds. See if you can sink in a little bit lower. This is going to be your best 15 seconds yet. In 3, 2, kick it back to full range, slow as you can go. This is your last 10 seconds now. We've got a big transition up to the back of the machine. Express lunge, 1 yellow, 2 is harder. 3, 2, 1. Good job. So turning around, change down to 1 yellow, 2 would make it harder. Step up onto the back platform, left foot is forward, red cables are in your hands. Right toes come back onto the carriage. Right toes could be either underneath the strap, or you could scooch them back farther if you like it. Begin to bend the left knee, coming down into your lunge, slow, steady. And then you push into the heel, nice control. Jessica starting to rise. You'll see she has a light grip on the cables on the way up, at least here in the beginning. Same, myself included. So you're playing with it, right? I feel like the hardest part as you rise is the balance part if you're not using the cables. There's a point where you just feel like wobbly, and that's great. Lose your balance, struggle a little bit, find a little strength in the struggle. Let's come all the way down on your next one. Sit into it nice and deep. Like get that thigh parallel to the floor. Feel that thing you don't want to feel and dig in slowly. Pull your right knee in for the carriage kick, little bicep curl with the arms. Collarbones open. You're a solid wall of abdominals right now. I want you to try to get a little bit lower. You only have 12 seconds here. Yup. So strong, so slow. Beast mode has to be turned up right now. 5. Good, bring the right knee in and hold it in, squeeze it nice and tight, squeeze your inner thighs, just like that runner's lunge hold, but totally different. Start to slide your right leg all the way back, all the way back, all the way back. Sink in low with control, rise. See what you can do about releasing those cables a little bit. Once you hit the top, you're coming right back down. Dig in, dig through, separate those collarbones a little bit, breathe some softness into the front of your shoulders, 5 seconds. Here we come, all the way down to the bottom in 3, 2, all the way down on 1, hold it, perfect form, just sink in a little lower, everybody. Slowly, that carriage kick again, go get it, slow as you can. It's familiar now, right? That left heel is radiating fire. You are intentionally pushing your left heel down to make it burn more, because why not? You're gonna stand here anyways. Sink lower, everybody. Bend your right knee in and hold it there. Hold it, I know. Open your collarbones, squeeze your inner thighs, push that left heel so heavy, slowly. Right leg slides back for 3, 2, sink it all the way down, low as you can get. Yeah. Slowly rise, so slow, so strong. Once you hit the top, you're coming right back down. Your final push, we're under 60 seconds now. We're gonna be transitioning into the obliques from here. We're gonna come into French twist, staying on the left side of the body. If you would rather take it up to the front for teaser, you can. If you would rather turn your bars around here at the back, like Jess will show you, it makes it like halfway easier. If you would like to take off your yellow spring at the back, you can. Let's come all the way down. Very last time, hold it for me nice and strong. Let's start to bend that right knee in. One last time, set it. Not here long, lengthen out your wrist. Ooh, good drop. Sink in a little bit lower. You've totally got this. We don't have to go back to full range after this one. On your next one, bend your right knee in, bring it right underneath your hip, no closer, no further. Gaze forward, listen, don't let that carriage move. It's a big one, 1 inch down, 1 inch up. Yep, 1 inch down. You have 8 seconds. French twist, left side, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. So grabbing your carriage, turn your feet towards your right, so go the other way. Left over right, you can pick up, so lift on one side, and then turn them around to face the other way. Just be really careful. If you guys are lifting the bars, you have to lift first and then rotate, and then it'll make it a lot easier for you. You'll see she slid her hands all the way back to the back edge, makes it a lot lighter this way. Legs slide back, and then you're picking up through the left side of your waist. Like the kneeling crunch we did earlier, it's a lift of your hips rather than a drag of your feet. So relax the pulling of that left foot. Try to keep your feet stable. There are many variations. You'll hear a lot, if you take other classes, you'll hear heels down, feet flat. If that doesn't feel good in your back, adjust what you're doing. Make sure it works for your body on any given day. You have about 10 more seconds. We're gonna take it into our challenge from here, and then I'm gonna bring you off the wrists right after this. Next one, start to take it back for a little hold. Let's say about 90% of the way out, so you're not sinking. Arms real strong, soften the elbows, press inwards on the bars. We're going for tempo now, as slow as you could possibly move. A little squeeze up, and then squeeze it again. Lift up a little higher. Tiny little movements, but real slow. A little resist down, and then another little down. Little squeeze up, you've got it. Another little squeeze up, hold it, go back to full range. Just 8 seconds. You're gonna come down to your left elbow, facing towards the right for side plank. I'm gonna cue it on your knees, if you feel real strong on your feet, get to work. 3, 2, 1. Bring your left elbow down onto the back platform, just like you are. So knees will be out here. Knees are gonna be stacked side by side, and then you could use the bar in front of you if you need it for balance. That's all good. I want you to press your hips forward so you're in one long line. Tuck your tailbone, and then move that left shoulder blade away from your ear towards the hip. And now I want you to think of lifting your hips like 2 inches. I want the carriage to move a little bit. I want it to come in a little bit, and then it's gonna come out a little bit. Yes, so like a little baby crunch with that left side waist. Not a side crunch, you're not rounding all the way in, you're just decreasing that, or increasing that hip crease rather. Just 5, we ride to the front. It's scrambled egg, left side. 3, 2, 1, good job. Knees on the carriage, 2 or 3 yellows. Grab your left strap. Strap your left foot. Hands by your springs. And then start by extending your left leg back behind you. Slowly begin to sweep that left leg out, down and forward. Leaning into your left arm pretty freaking strongly here. This way you're not leaning into your right hip. Stack that right hip perpendicular to the knee, so your right butt, your right inner thigh is working hard. Just like bungee, I want you to have a little bend in your left knee so you feel the muscles activate and you're not pulling with the joints or the soft tissues. Slow, steady. Side waists are hugging in. You guys, no holds, no challenges in this one. I'll give you some options though. You could add a little circle each time you bring it out to the left. That's pretty crazy. You could try lifting your right arm forward, which is gonna be harder than say out to the side or reaching back behind you. You could definitely try flying here, lifting your right knee up. Gonna be crazy harder on the upper body, a lot more for the core, a lot more for even the right leg. This is 20 seconds out right here. For me, the hardest part is layering reps together without whipping my left leg back and kind of shifting off my shoulders. Try to stick with it. Let the sweat start to roll. Let the breathing get a little deeper. Just 10 seconds. We're gonna scooch back. Your hands will be on the first red line, facing the same direction, but here at the front. For reverse wheelbarrow, 1 or 2 yellows. 3, 2, 1. Good job. Unstrap yourself, adjust your springs, and then scoot back. So 1 to 2 yellows, 2 is more support. Hands find the 2 and the 4. Literally cover up the 2 and the 4 so your hands are a little wider. Bring your hips forward into that modified plank shape, and then begin to saw your shoulders out. So we've been in wheelbarrow before. You remember your modification. Smaller range of motion, or elbows down will lower your center of gravity and help take any pressure out of the back. Super slow, controlled movements. Awesome shaking, Jessica. Lengthen out your neck a little bit, everybody. Spread those shoulder blades as you spread your collarbone. So opposing actions, once again. If you want to add on a little bit more, you guys, I don't have any holds, no challenges. We're going full range. If you want more, bring in your cobra. Start to alternate with the cobra here, adding the bend of the elbows. If cobra is not quite in the wheelhouse today, if you're not familiar with cobra, or if it's a little bit too much, maybe take an occasional tricep push-up with control, of course. Slow, steady, we're rolling right on through it. We've only got 15 seconds. Other things you could do to challenge it, just add a hold out there. Hold as long as you can and then bring it back in. Add a pulse each time. That sounds fun too. Just about 8. We're gonna tuck our toes in 5. High plank, 3, 2, and 1. Tuck your toes, extend out to your high plank. Last one here, we got that spring change as we head back to the legs right after this. Lengthen your neck, straighten out your gaze a little bit. You're looking slightly forward of your hands. Soften your elbows, triceps wrap back, bend your knees, bear. Go slow, slow, slow. Yes, perfect form, Jessica. Making it look real easy as always. Squeeze your core energetically. If I told you you only had 10 seconds, would you do more? Would you squeeze it more, or are you just going through the motions, hoping your abs are working? Make them work more. Make them work for you. Squeeze with more intensity. You have 5, 4, extend out, straight leg plank in 2, hold it out there, press into your hands, plank to pike. Go slow. Last push here. Again, I'm gonna change Jessica's spring so that she can quickly stand up and face in this direction. And again, you'll be facing towards your right. Your right foot will be on your front platform, will be in those squats. I like a little baby turnout with my toes to activate the outer butt pockets. 1 red, 2 or 3 yellows. This is your last 8, 7, 6, quick spring change. So if you're by yourself, you're gonna step to your left, change the springs, and then stand up facing the left. In 2 and 1, good job. So about 1 red and 2 yellows, 3 will be heavier. Feet are inside the straps. Do that quick alignment check. Look down at your feet. Make sure they're lined up and pointed, rotated in the same directions. Begin to bend your knees after you push the carriage out, of course. So push it out so you feel that tension. I don't necessarily want it to be a wide squat, like really wide, not sumo. And I don't necessarily need it to be the heaviest thing it's ever been. So just wide enough to where you feel the spring load and you feel that the carriage wants to move. Start to make your way all the way down to the bottom and hold it. Harder, no doubt, on the second side to hold the deep squat. Push yourself in there. Get down as low as you know you can go. When the sensation feels different, it's okay to be there. Hold it down here. Melt your shoulders down your back. 8 more seconds. Squeeze your core in tighter. Sides of the waist are hugging in. Your heels are literally drilling and spiraling at the same time. Take an inhale. Stay with me now. 1 inch up. This is harder. 1 more inch up. Open up your collarbones. 1 inch down. Keep it honest. Come 1 more inch down, and now just get down as low as you can. Low as you can. Yes. Ooh, yes, Jessica. Slowly, slowly rise. Back to your full range. Real slow, real strong. Once you hit the top, you're coming right back down. Slow, steady. Trying to keep a decent bend in the knees at the top. However, second set of squats, if you tend to load pressure in your lower back, building core strength, right? Building booty strength, that's fine too. You can straighten your legs completely at the top. Just make sure you're effectively working your core. You straighten your legs, your butt kind of tucks under, and your abs are working hard. It shouldn't feel like a break. It should not feel like a blank space. And guess what? When you straighten your legs, it's harder to hold that carriage still. Don't let the carriage move. Come all the way down to the bottom. Let's do it again. Hold it down. Low as you can get. I want you to use whatever you can to push it a little bit lower. Maybe it's in your mind. Maybe it's grabbing the freaking bars. I don't really care. Slowly. 1 inch up. Yep. 1 more inch up. 1 inch down. 1 more inch down. Do it again. 1 inch up. 1 more inch up. 1 inch down. Last time. 1 more inch down. Take an inhale. Squeeze it as low as you can get. Yes. And we're back to full range. You only have seconds left here. We're gonna step to the right, right foot side kick, so right foot's coming to the floor, easy transition. We like it fast, so these buns stay burning. 3, 2, 1. Step to the right. Remember, you can always adjust your spring loads in between exercises if you need. Same thing, you'll see Jessica step to her right foot all the way forward to the edge of the front platform. And if you guys look quickly at your feet, make sure they're on the same plane, so your left foot isn't staggered back on the carriage. Isometric hold on your right leg, deep bend in that right knee. Again, about an inch, maybe 2 inches, you're hovering off that front platform. So there's a deep bend in the knee, and as long as you have that deep bend in your knee, yeah, you can lean pretty good amount forward. I don't care how much you use the bars on this. In fact, I would much rather you use the bars and be able to battle it out and never straighten your right leg than keep your hands off the bars and straighten it every 3 seconds. Start to push your left leg out about 90%. Hold it there when you're ready. Squeeze your core. I love this lateral movement for the oblique stability. Left leg 1 inch out, tiny little push. Left leg 1 inch in. Awesome in the shoulders. Drop those hips a little lower. Yes. 1 inch out. Good. 5. 1 inch in. Push it out. Now push that right heel so heavy. The foot on the floor. Push it. Come back to full range. Real slow, real strong. Try not to lock your knee when you extend it. Check in with those, the neck, shoulder, jaw, shoulder blades, how you're holding with your arms here. Reconnect into that right heel right now. I've said it probably 3 times already. It's something you need to do every half rep. The more you push into that right heel, the more effective this is gonna be. The longer we're here, the harder it is to keep the push. Push your left leg out about 90%. Hold it out there one more time. Sink in a little lower. Yes. Squeeze those shoulder blades down your back. Push your right heel. Left leg 1 inch out. 1 inch in. You totally got this. 1 inch out. 1 inch in. We're almost there. 1 inch out. Stay with it. Stay with it. Just 6 seconds. 1 inch in. Good. Push it 1 inch out. Listen. Push your right heel down. I want this to be the most intense 15 seconds. Go back to full range. Don't stand up. Don't go faster. Don't let up. Squeeze with everything you got. I want your body shaking right now. Right about now, locating your bungee. Jessica's is behind her on the bar this time. Yours might be on the floor. 3, 2, 1. Grab your bungee and set up that straight leg hold. Right foot takes the bungee. Left knee near the first tread line. Elbows are down. You could do this up on your hands, you guys. It's just much harder for the core. So again, lifting the right leg up as high as you can. It's hard to lift your leg up that high and not arch your back. So pull in on the core, soften the right knee, exactly. You could lift your left hand up like Jessica has here. I like that for balance a lot. And then is slow and honestly small. A little squeeze up. It cannot be very big, you guys, otherwise your back's gonna go out of whack. A little squeeze down. Ooh, so honest this morning, Jessica. Little squeeze up. Perfect. A little squeeze down. Good, now hold it up there. Hold it up, squeeze it tight, tuck your tail, hamstring, curl it in. This is the biggest battle for me. I like to cheat on this one. I don't know about you guys, but don't. Just bear down a little bit. Kick that bungee like you're trying to break it off. You have just a few more seconds here. Curl it in. Perfect in the spine, Jess. Rounding and tucking, rounding the pubic bone down towards the carriage. Push out of your shoulders a little bit. Everybody, bend that knee to 90 degrees like bungee. Flex your toes back. Draw the core up. Here we go. Little squeeze up. Hold it. Little resist down. Keep it so tiny right now, you guys. Fight for it. Little squeeze up. Little squeeze down. You've totally got it. 8. Little squeeze up. Little squeeze down. Break it off. Higher, Jessica. 5. Yes. 4. Runner's lunge. 3, 2, 1. Good job. Don't mind the beeping in the background if you can hear it. We have some construction happening. It's fine. Right foot forward, left toes back. Don't worry about where your bungee landed now. You can pick it up later. Deep, deep bend in your right knee. Left leg is driving back. Real slow, real strong. Squeeze your inner thighs. Perfect in the spine. Again, lean a little forward if you like. Favorite cue. As much as you push back in the left leg, you are drilling into your right heel. It's your anchor. Like when we were in side kick and I was like, you gotta keep pushing your right heel into the floor. That was your anchor. There's points of contact with the carriage and the machine. You need to drill those places down to get the maximum engagement, the maximum intensity here. Start to push your left leg back about 90% of the way. Hold it back. Tuck your tailbone a little bit. Try to sink in a little bit lower. Push your right heel heavier. Left leg 1 inch in, or maybe a 1/2 inch. And then make sure you're squeezing your left butt, push it a 1/2 inch back. 1/2 inch in, 1/2 inch out. 10 seconds, no problem. 1/2 inch in, 1/2 inch out. You've got it. 1/2 inch in, 1/2 inch out. Go back to full range. Do your best to re-anchor into the right heel. Push yourself to get a little bit lower right now. You know you've only got one more right leg exercise coming, and then we're coming down the mountain, ending on those arms today. 10 seconds, and we'll push it again. Deeper, fuller breaths. Check in with your jaw now. Check in with the shoulder hike, right? Are you still connected to your core? Does this feel like a blank space there? You gotta squeeze. Constantly making these fine-tuning little adjustments. Bring your left knee in now so that it's right underneath the hip. Yeah, hold it. Now, take a couple seconds here to feel what you're squeezing. Don't just bring your left knee in and let your thigh feel like it's gonna fall off. Squeeze your butt cheek. It's hard to squeeze your butt cheek when your legs feel like this. Push your right heel down. Push yourself to get lower. We're just holding it here. We're just holding, breathing. 8 more seconds. You've totally got it. Can you get a little bit lower? Can you unlock that jaw? Can you stand taller in your spine even though you're pushing your legs lower? 3, we push back to full range in 2, go so slow, back to full range. Last seconds here, we're coming to the back. It's express lunge. So you'll need about 1 yellow, 2 is definitely harder, red cables facing the opposite direction. In 4, 3, 2, 1, good job. So about 1 yellow. Carefully make your way onto your back platform. You can step inside, you can stand up, whatever makes you happy. Right foot will be forward, we're lunging. Last lunge, right leg, party time is coming. So we've got some arms coming, and then your oblique coming, and then your arms, and then that last core exercise. Pushing into the right heel, coming down nice and slow. Notice how on the second leg, she's maybe using her cables immediately. Totally all good. That's what they're there for, you guys. Honesty, right? It's definitely harder on the second side. Way harder to balance on the second side, for sure. And the funniest thing is, like those first 2 inches, everything seems fine. It's more when you get up above halfway where things start to go funky. Let's start to come down towards the bottom. Next one, take your time, settle in. Get down there real low. Squeeze your inner thighs and start to bend your back knee. Carriage kick with a bicep curl. You could always make the carriage kick harder by straightening your arms. I would 100% rather you use the red cables than touch those black bars though. Sink it a little bit lower, just a few seconds. Good, bend your left knee in and hold it. And now do the work to come down even lower, a little lower. Yeah, 3, 2, slide your left leg back slowly as you can. Sink a little lower, slowly rise on up. Yup. Try not to lock the knee at the top. Remember, you can straighten your leg. I'm not saying don't take any breaks, though I don't want you to take any breaks. I'm just trying to teach you what your goals are here. When we're going slow like this, it's an endurance exercise. So your goal is layering these difficult reps together. Let's come all the way down to the bottom again. Hold it. Breathe. Carriage kick and a bicep curl. Low as you can get, as slow as you can go. I go really slow with a hold at the front and the back to check that form. Sometimes going slow isn't necessarily harder. It's more intense, yes, but it makes it a little bit easier to keep your form. 5 seconds, I know. Check where your gaze is, lengthen that neck, bring your left knee in, hold it. Squeeze it real tight. Squeeze your biceps, squeeze your armpits, squeeze your butt cheeks. Slide your left leg back for 3, 2, hold it back, slowly rise. Woo! Under 60 seconds now. We got those obliques coming, and then we'll start to open up those arms a little bit. Big old inhales, big old exhales. Good, last time, let's start to make our way down. Hamstring should be firing now. Hold it low, take a big breath, sit down lower if you can. Let your legs feel like they're gonna fall off. Begin to bend that left knee in, slow as you can go. Perfect form, Jess. All I'm gonna say, you guys, is can you get lower right now? Remember how Ali used to say yes or yes? Yes, you can. And I'd be like, shut up! I'll do what I want. 5, lower. Take the gaze forward a little bit. Next one, bring that left knee in, hold it nice and tight. Hold it nice and tight. Remember, we don't go back to full range. This is where we finish. 1 inch down, don't let that carriage move. 1 inch up. French twist in 4. Right foot steps over left. In 3, you have to hit the other one. 2 and 1. Good job. So turning the bars around, if you had them before, I just moved Jessica's back forward because it makes me feel safer when we're standing on the back platform. Right foot crosses left. Set your feet. Remember, like I talked about before, your feet can be less twisted, your heels can be down, they can be up. All we want is stability. So the foundation isn't changing as you move, but there's not a one size fits all here. You gotta do what feels better for you. Shoulders are strong and energetic, triceps are wrapping back. We're breathing, squeezing. Keep moving right on through it. We got that little challenge coming up at the end. And then we'll get onto our right elbow to give the wrists a little bit of a break before we need them again in scrambled eggs. Big old inhales. And again, this is harder just on the second side, even though your arms are fairly fresh because we're coming out of the leg work. Start to slide your legs back on your next one. Don't let your hips sink, so maybe 90% of the way. And then give me a little squeeze up, like you're shortening that right side of the waist, and then squeeze on top of it again, so another squeeze. A little squeeze down. You're still squeezing though, don't just release it. A little squeeze down. Little squeeze up, you're right there. Little squeeze up, good. Last time, little squeeze out. Another little squeeze out as slowly as you can. Don't pull out, pull back to full range. 8 seconds. You're gonna carefully bring your right elbow down onto the back platform. So bend your knees as you transition, so you can set your knees on the carriage. 3, 2, 1, exactly, good job. So right elbow comes down. You'll see now, you can use the bar in front of you for support. Take a second, you guys, and set your side plank. So pull your crown forward, engage around your right shoulder blade, squeeze that shoulder blade towards your spine. And then this is a tiny movement. It's not like side crunch. I want you to think of drawing your knee in slightly, cinch up that right side waist, yes, and then slowly resist it out. And then again, the tiniest little, yes, squeeze it. So it's slightly lower in the obliques than the side crunch would be. You only have 10 seconds. This is fairly intense on that right shoulder, right? So again, use the other arm if you need to. Relax your jaw, you guys. Just 3 scrambled eggs. 2 and 1. Awesome. So taking a ride, strapping up the right foot. You'll need 2 or 3 yellows. Right foot takes your strap. Shoulders are level square. And then right leg is sweeping forward. Nice and slow. Softness in your elbows will probably be the biggest help here. Perfect form, Jess. Left hip is stable. You'll see stacked right over the knee. It's difficult to see Jessica's like front view, but her right now, her hips are perfectly square to the carriage and her left hip is directly over her knee. This is important. It's also the difficult part of this exercise. Most of us, our bodies will try to lean to the left. Options to challenge it. Number 1, go slower. Number 2, lift your arm, lift your left knee, whatever you got. You can add an extra little circle if you like it. Slow, steady. Already well over that halfway point. We're gonna start to open the chest a little bit after this exercise. So we're gonna be grabbing our black cables, both of them. You already have one on your foot. Spring load could be good if you need a little bit easier today, otherwise we'll be on 3 or 4 yellows. This is your 15-second mark. This is where you wanna push it. This is where you wanna show yourself what you're made of. Relax the jaw, the sides of the neck, squeeze your armpits back, squeeze both of your butt cheeks, definitely squeeze your inner thighs. Last 5, chest opener, like a reset in 3, 2, 1. So grab both of your cables, set your spring. Most likely 3 or 4 yellows. If you got shoulder neck thing going on, 2 yellows could be cool. Knees are near the 6. You'll start with your hands right by your hips, your palms face back, And then the first movement, well, first thing you feel is probably your triceps because your arms are really straight. You're gonna squeeze your shoulder blades together on your back. And then the hard part about this exercise, it doesn't seem like much, and to be honest, it's really easy to cheat, and I would say probably most people cheat in this exercise. So what I want to tell you is don't cheat today. Hold yourself to the range of motion. Make sure your hands aren't coming anywhere near that resting point. If you need to make the springs lighter to do it, that is much more effective. Like we talked about in the lunge, it's all about endurance here. When we're going slow like this, we're tapping endurance muscle fibers. So again, you're only cheating yourself if you're letting your hands come too far forward with too heavy of a spring load. I'm not saying you're bad. I'm saying try it my way. It's hard. Ego is hard. 10 seconds, we'll come into a little hold. Good. Next one, start to press your arms back behind you. This is one of my favorite and least favorite at the same time. Keep those shoulders rolling back and then slowly, little squeezes inwards. Don't worry about going out. Your arms will naturally do it on their own. Just like you're bringing your thumbs a ½ inch closer together. 8, 7, 6, 5. We'll take it into newspaper. 3, 2, 1. Cross your cables, elbows in at your sides for newspaper. Tailbone drops down. So these two exercises, I didn't really mention it before, they're fairly difficult for the core. You have to keep the tailbone down. Most of us will tend to arch the back. You have to lighten up from leaning into your shins. Jessica's got the range of motion down. So again, be honest with yourself here. Back off on the spring load if you need. Back off on the range of motion if you need. So you're opening out, right, like you're reading a newspaper, external rotation through your shoulder joint. You pause there. I don't care how far you go, but it should start to burn pretty quickly because they're fairly small muscles, the rotator cuffs. As you're coming back to center, you're not even coming to where you started. You're stopping a little bit wider. Your hands will stop wider than your elbows. And then you're opening right back out. Good. On your next one, spread them open, hold it. And then from here, again, one of my favorites and also one of the harder ones, as slowly as you can. You got to keep pulling back. At the same time, start to bring your thumbs towards your shoulders. You guys, it might be an inch of movement and you might have a bigger range of motion. Maybe your thumbs can come all the way up. For me, it's most effective when it's like 2 inches. Tiny movements. Slow, steady. Good. Hug those front ribs in. It feels so good, Jessica. She's like, I swear it feels delightful, even though I'm making this face. Bring it all the way down, and here's the fun. Go back to full range. Last few seconds here. Feel them burn now. Hug those front ribs in. Good adjustment. Just 5. We're going to take it into sexy back. So most likely you'll uncross your cables. I'm going to say try to flip your palms forward today. 3, 2, 1. Good job. So cables crossed is definitely harder. Drop your chest down. Your butt's going to be off your heels, but you do reach your booty back. So your butt should be squeezing, your inner thighs are squeezing. Try it with your palms facing forward just for a different sensation. Arms go straight back, and then again, let's keep it honest. The hard part, you guys, when you bend your elbows, see where my hands come on my thigh? It's not very big. It's like 3 or 4 inches, and it's incredibly difficult. So again, not coming up here with the hands, going all the way back and just a couple inches forward. If you need, again, if you usually have the big range of motion and you feel like a badass in your sexy back, try going a spring or 2 lighter and keeping the range of motion tiny, and tell me how your arms feel tomorrow. 10 seconds. Well, that looks really good, Jessica. It hurts. It burns so, I was gonna say it hurts. It burns so much more for me when my palms are pointed forward. It's just changing up that muscle memory. It's the same muscles, it just works them in a different way. Go ahead and extend your arms all the way back towards straight. And I want you to keep it really, really small, especially if your palms are flipped forward. Give me little lifts up. Oh yeah, tiny ones. Little lifts up. Feels delightful. Little lifts up. So freaking strong, Jess. Hold it up. And come back to full range. The honest range of motion, no, not the cheating one. Last 10 seconds, we come to the back. We're gonna revisit wheelbarrow again. Last push here. In 3, 2, 1. So go ahead and change down to 1 yellow unless you mean it. That'll be twice as hard. Hands on the back platform, knees up against the strap, hips are pressed forward, and we're in our wheel row. 60 seconds straight on up, the clock has started. Big old challenge. We got one little challenge coming at the end. Ooh, I really like your sparkly nail. Thanks. Good job. So I took a class the other day outside in LA, and they had us start with this exercise on 2 yellow springs. And I was like, come again? No thanks. I did it anyways, and I lived to pay the price. Slow, steady. You've got about 10 more seconds. You guys, we have one exercise to go after this. Breathing in and breathing out. Start to slide it all the way back. Wrap those triceps a little bit. Yes. Come back as far as you can hold it. For me, at this point, it's maybe like 2 inches back. Hold it and breathe. Ooh, it shakes. Hold it and breathe. Hold it and breathe. That's all we're doing. We're just holding and breathing. Holding and breathing. 3. Ooh, slide it out a little further. Yes. 2. Go back to full range. 10 seconds. We're going to bring our hands down to the floor. Making sure there's nothing in her way. You guys, if you need to modify this one, you're going to take it to the front and bring your hands on the floor. Mega plank to pike. In 3, 2, 1. So toes come up against the strap, and then your hands come down to the floor. Awesome. And then we're in that 60 seconds already. We begin to pike up. Yes. Recognize that there's a platform below you. I don't want you to use it, but if you need to, you can set your chest, your belly, your hips there to take a little beat. You can even bend your knees and set them up. Again, if you're modifying, I want you flipped all the way around at the front. Same freaking idea. Actually, I find this one a little bit harder. And we're piking up here. You're not pulling against the spring, so it's a little bit harder to balance. Jess, we're well over halfway already. You guys, about 20 seconds left. She's not gonna take a beat, I can tell. Getting the hips real high, feel the balance. Also, when your hands are on the floor, lower than your toes, it becomes a lot more upper body. This is it, last 10. So strong. If you can come up for a hold and hold it and feel those abs still working, get up there. Last 5, 4, knees down in 3, 2, 1. Whew. Good job. Set your hips down. Take a child's pose. Take any other stretches you need.